All right, have a look at my face. Have a look at my face. Have a look at me. Pay close attention. You can see all these tattoos and everything. Okay. Now it's obvious that since I have all these tattoos, that people generally say this guy is mentally unstable, or this guy is he loves attention. He's screaming, "Look at me." Okay, and I would tell you, you are absolutely right. I mean, who does this? Someone who wants attention. And yes, when you factor in the psychological aspect, oh, he maybe didn't get attention when he was young, he's mentally unstable, he is craving to be the center, the spotlight. You're absolutely right. If I didn't crave attention, I wouldn't get all this. If I had proper upbringing, if I had good mother, father, loving family, maybe I wouldn't go extreme. I mean, which boy or girl from a good family, from a good household, would, become like this? They would study hard, go to a college, fit into society, get a normal corporate job, have, marry, have children, like a normal person. And it's obvious that I'm also a rebel. I like to go against society and norms. So now the big question is, a person like me who is seeking attention, who is a rebel. Now you can make out also I talk too much. I make a lot of videos, so I love talking. And also my career path is where I have to talk to people and offer them advice. So, okay. Is it possible for someone like me who loved attention, who is a rebel, who loves talking a lot? Do you think it's possible for someone like me to change? Can you imagine a world, a parallel universe, where Loy Machedo was without tattoos, very quiet, an introvert, not an extrovert, was not a rebel, was following rules, being a very nicey guy, not being this blunt, in-your-face kind of person? Can you imagine that? In fact, let me ask you a more stronger question, a more personalized question. You're an introvert or extrovert, I don't know, but whatever you are, can you imagine being the absolute opposite? Let's say, for example, you don't smoke, you don't drink, you don't sleep around. You're a nice person. Can you imagine smoking, being a smoker, drinker, drug addict, someone who's sexually, deviant, someone who is doing bad things in society? Can you imagine that? So now, if you can't imagine that, then the question is, can people change? See, because all of us want to change, right? All of us want to become better. We want to be better human beings. We want to improve. A person who eats a lot wants to, clean up his eating habit and be fit. Someone who's obese and fat wants to be fit and have, a good physique. Someone who's a smoker, drinker, drug addict, or who is sleeping around with, women or men, they want to change all that. So if we go with the axiom that, no, you cannot change your true nature, then can these people change? I mean, someone who has gone to jail, who has gone to prison for multiple felonies and crimes and whatever, can that person change? Now, one side you'll say, yeah, people can change if you have your heart, your soul, But then there are some others, no matter what they do, they keep becoming bad. So why is it some people can change? Why is it some people cannot change? Why is it that, some people, no matter how good their intention is, no matter how much they try, they are not able to change. They keep failing. So I'll give you my thoughts on all this in this video, and I would like your input. Okay, I started off with my own example, so let's focus on that. Now, from childhood, right from the time I was a small boy, my mom and dad, my mom and stepdad, they would beat the bejesus out of me. Okay, left, right, and center, they would beat me, hit me, shout at me, insult me, and the complaints were very common. Don't talk too much, you're talking too much, You're so mischievous in class or school. Behave yourself, study hard. I didn't like to study hard. Uh, be normal like others. Don't be this crazy, this thing. And, they would tell me verbally, they would shout at me, they would give me bad words, and obviously they would beat me, hit me. They would bloody me completely, full blood. That much they would, my stepfather would beat me. But I would never change. I wasn't changing. Now you can say, yeah, maybe it is a psychological, mental issue. Could be, could be. ADHD was not invented then, not discovered. I found out only after 31 I had ADHD. But today, if you actually look at it, I mean, every young man and woman has ADHD because of social media. You can't stop scrolling through your phone. You can't stop browsing. You can't stop taking a selfie. You can't stop uploading something. You can't stop, hey, everyone, look at me, I'm here. So is it possible? Is it possible to change? Okay, if you have a medical condition, I guess you can't. But if you don't have medical condition, can you? Can you imagine me being normal? Me not having tattoos? My wife, and the people who know me say, Loy, I've seen you with tattoos. It's impossible for me to imagine you without tattoos. I can't imagine myself fitting into society, not being a rebel, not being the person. I'm very happy the way I am. By the way, this you might find surprising. I did take control tablets, control tablets that is for ADHD, and I became like a vegetable, actual vegetable. I became like this really. The first time I took it, I think because it just was the impact the first time I was like this. Just like this. I knew I was sitting down quiet, but I was just like this. And then after some time, I was like, fuck this, man. This is not normal. I was normal in front of everyone. I was very quiet. I was not troubling anyone. But I was not happy because that is not me. So the question is, can you change? If you are distracted, can you be focused? If you are, you love to eat food, can you control it? If you are a smoker, drinker, drug addict, can you change? If you are addicted to sex and pornography, can you change? In fact, there are so many people who smoke, drink, drugs, pornography, sex. They are able to stop it for some time, but something happens and they go back to smoking, drinking, sex and pornography. In fact, have you thought about this? There are some people who are gossipy. They love to gossip. They are backstabbers. They are lazy. They are not focused. Some men are simp. They just can't be manly. There are some who are bullies. Can these people change? Can they become better individuals? Can they improve? Someone who's gossipy, can he stop being gossipy? Someone who is, let's say, a simp, a man who cannot be like a manly this thing, he's always under a female. I have an opinion. I would like to know yours. See, there is a saying, a snake, a snake, no matter how much you take care of it and all that, a snake's habit is to, bite you. You can't make a snake nicey and snake will, oh, I will stop, biting you. In the same way, if you have an animal that is bloodthirsty and loves to kill, yeah, you can tame it, but at some point its actual nature will come out. That is why wild animals, if you keep them, domesticated, there have been horrific incidents that have happened. Like you can Google search this one. It's pretty graphic, I'll tell you. This female who had a chimpanzee, wild chimpanzee in the house, and one fine day it just went berserk and ripped her face off. Yeah, you'll see this female, she doesn't have eyes, she doesn't have nose, she doesn't have a mouth. Ripped, and she's alive. It's very graphic. It ate her face off. So, can you trust having a wild animal domesticated? Can you risk having a wild animal, say, with your children? And then let's look at human beings. What if a guy was, let's say, when he was young, he was caught for rape or a sexual crime, or he was a pedophile, or he did something bad sexually? Can you trust that person in your house? Can you trust that person with your child, with members of your family? I'm very sure you would say, no, no, I'm sorry, I'm not going to take a gamble with my child. No way. Why? Because there is a possibility this will come out again. See, this is the conundrum, this is the confusion, this is the problem all of us face, because we know for a fact that your true nature will come out at some point. That is why someone who's a backstabber, at some point he will backstab. Someone who's cheated on you, there's a possibility the person can cheat on you. Someone who has done something bad, evil, that person can do that again. In my case, my parents tried left, right, and center to make me keep quiet. Didn't work. Make me not want attention. Didn't work. Make me try to fit in and not be a rebel. Didn't work. Attention seeking, stop it. Didn't work. In the end, see. So now the question begets is, okay, so if someone is, let's say you have a son or daughter, and that person is a problem child, that person doesn't fit into society, do you allow that child to smoke, drink, do drugs, and ruin their life? Is it like, oh, lift your hands and there is no hope, you can't change? But then the question also comes, there are people who have a very bad past but have become very good individuals. They used to do bad things. Now they don't do bad things. Like, for example, me, I was a playboy. I was sleeping around with females left, right, and center. How did I change? Some people are saying, oh, because you became old and your testosterone went down, and others you'd be still the playboy. My little boy still stands. You think I don't, doesn't it toin when I see a female? Yeah. My priorities have changed. I was once a guy who used to literally teach and train and coach people, don't get married, don't have children. It's a bloody mistake. Seriously, yeah? This is when I was 36. So tell people, don't marry, don't have children. It's a bloody mistake. Guess what? I not only got married, settled down, have a kid. So didn't I change? Now, obviously, there are some things I can change, some things I cannot. Like my addiction to food. Changed it a little bit. Still, it keeps coming back. What about if you have a partner, guy or girl, and they cheat on you? Is it possible they could cheat again? Someone who's nagging you, let's say your mother or father is nagging you and is a headache, and can they change? See, I've worked with so many clients, I've worked with so many customers, I've trained, mentored. I'll tell you something. Each one of us, no, we all as human beings, we are wired in a particular way. There are some habits which are so deeply ingrained, it is just impossible to change. Like, for example, in my case, my attention seeking trait, I don't think it's ever going to stop. My ability to talk a lot and communicate, it's not going to stop. Being a rebel and not fitting into society, I don't think it's going to change. At this age, nearly 50, wanting things to go my own way, doing my own thing, not going to change. Okay, so some things are not going to change. But on the other side, I know for a fact, if I don't change some things, the price to pay is too much. Like, for example, let's say being a playboy, I can still enjoy, but the price to pay is too much, man. STD and aggressive women, and maybe when you're older, you can be taken to jail and all that. I don't want all that. I've been a rebel, I've taken risks, but today, at the age of 50, do I really want to take the risks and start all over from scratch, all over again with zero? No. I'm not willing to do that. That fear is there. I've not forgotten the pain. I've not forgotten the memories of my failure. I used to have a lightning temper. I used to be, this thing, very impulsive and all. No, I'm not going to walk down that path again. But I do love to enjoy life. I do love to buy things. I do love to eat food. That doesn't change. So, what is the conclusion? Can you change? Can you not change? You know, what conclusion I've come to is there are some things which we choose not to change. Some of us, okay, all of us, there are things we can change and there are things we can't change. Some things involve a choice. Let's say, for example, I want to control my weight. I want to lose weight. I'll not eat sweets. I'll not eat sugar. I'll not eat junk food. That is a choice. Now, you can either go back, reverse your decision and say, I'll not eat junk food, but then you eat. Or you can say, I'll eat once a week. Or you'll say, it's okay, man, forget it. Life is meant to enjoy. Let me just eat food. You can do that. Let's say cheating on your partner. I used to cheat on all my partners. Before, I used to be like, who's going to find out? As long as you do it smart, nobody knows. And I used to do that. I used to have a relationship and cheat secretly. Today also I can do it right now. I choose not to. I don't want, because it's not worth the risk. Other areas, people said, I told you, right? I've been offered shitloads of money to remove my tattoos, to convert to Islam and all that. Even though I wouldn't mind the money, but not this way. No way. I've been offered collaboration. I've been offered a contract to work and, guaranteed income for a certain period of time. But it goes against my value system. So there are some things I can change, which I don't mind, like food habits, eating after a particular time, intermittent fasting, even though it's slightly uncomfortable at times. Some areas I change. Some I don't change, like talking or being this, rough, tough guy online and not taking shit from anyone and, having my own rules. Some things don't change. And I'm aware of the price I have to pay for either one. But where, let's say, if you are having a medical issue due to which you cannot change, okay, that's a different question. But the areas that you can change, it all comes down to you. Like I told you, talking too much, being an attention seeker, if I try to suppress that, it will come out again. No matter how hard I've tried when I was young, it would come out again. In the same way, if you are addicted to sex, if you're addicted to food, if you're addicted to smoking, drinking, unless you really dig deep to find out the core reason and what triggers this, and seek professional help to, because self-control and willpower only work so much, after which you will say, forget this, man, just let's enjoy. You replace that habit with something else, okay, replace that habit, and you have a very strong support system, a very strong, let's say, group, you change your environment, you change your friends, you have a mentor, you have a guide, you have someone like a big brother or someone who is always there with you. Only then you will succeed. Because remember, every day is a challenge. Every day is a new day. Every day brings new challenges, new problems, new issues. Otherwise, it's impossible, man. Like, try convincing your mother and father to change. You think they're going to change their habits, behaviors? No. Unless, of course, they realize that you'll throw them on the streets and that fear will make them keep quiet. But, they will still nag, they will still do things, but they'll be afraid. So maybe old age and that fear of, I'm not willing to pay the price, maybe then they'll keep quiet. Maybe if a guy loves women and loves smoking, loves drinking, but he knows that if he gets caught, maybe they'll chop off his hand, leg, or something, or imprisonment for life. Out of the fear, they'll not do that. There are some crazy idiots who, even if the law in the country is you'll get a bullet right up your back and you'll be hung upside down, still they will do shit. Why? Because they can't control it. So it comes down from individual to individual. But I can tell you this much, just merely willpower and self control, just that, it's a losing battle. That is why when I work with clients, when I mentor or coach anyone, I check their environment, I check their past, I check their pattern, I check their behavior, I check their upbringing. I study them for quite some time, and I can tell you this, my prediction, my ability to read them is more or less very, very accurate because I'm not emotionally involved and I can see a pattern and I know for a fact whether they will repeat the pattern or not. Unless and until something so strong, a change in your life is so strong and so extreme, it can be an accident, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, or it can be a life changing moment. Like, you lose your hand, you lose your leg, or you get smashed, or you suffer so much. You say, no, never, I'm never going to repeat that. Otherwise, it is impossible for people to change. That is why, in a relationship, if the guy or the girl has done something wrong, and out of all the sincerity, they say, I will change. But in the end, some habits die hard. That is why when people tell me, Loy, I'm in love with this person, I'll give them so much of love, encouragement, support, and I'll make sure they change. I know for a fact it's not going to work in the long term. But then again, people will believe what they want to believe, right? And in the end, what can you do? You just do your part, tell them the truth, and leave the rest. It will decide. So, what do you think? Do you think people can change? Do you think it's possible? See, it is not easy. And possible means you can achieve success now, but can you do it consistently? Or, I mean, it just takes one moment for you to fail, and it's like trust is like glass. Once it breaks, like for example, a guy who is addicted to sex just needs to commit the crime once. The law is going to punish him. Let's say someone who's a pedophile decides, no, I'm never going to harm children. One mistake, just once, he has to slip. That's the end of it, right? Even people who are into drugs, one slip, that's the end of it. So, can you change? Do you think it's possible to change? Just because somebody has done it, do you think it's possible for you? If you're a person who gossips, can you change? Person who is a backstabber, can you? If you're a simp, if you had a bad record in your career, if you have had bad relationships, can you change? If you choose the wrong person, you choose the wrong thing. There are some people who keep making the wrong choices. Can you change? Can you imagine me without tattoos? My parents almost killed me every single day for nearly, I think, 20 years. They couldn't change me. Is that a good thing? Well, because my life has been better, it's a good thing. Had I failed and been miserable, and I guess they would say, see, we were right. Anyway, you let me know. What do you think? Is it possible for a person to change? Is it not? How easy is it to change? Not so easy. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Good, bad, ugly. I'd love to read your thoughts. You guys take care. This is me signing off.